Okay, hold on right now. Grasp the goggles, put them on your head, fasten the cape. It's time for the quest for epic engagement. Today, I have my friend Laura on. Listen, I met Laura and it was like instant, oh yes, I have found my people. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. She's a fellow AI enthusiast, a fellow coach, and a fellow authentic connector. Do you remember what that was like, everybody? In the years of cassette tapes, maybe? But anyway, we don't have to go back in time to experience authentic connection. It's who we are, and it's what my friend Laura does all the time. So please, Laura, tell us who you are, what you do, perhaps your hat size. I mean, really, just give us everything.
Hat
We're ready.
size. Oh, wait. I don't know what the hat size is. Shoe size 7.5. So let's go there.
Perfect.
You know, so I'm Laura Templeton with 30-Second Success. I help people develop that 30-second message that everybody needs to have in their toolbox, right? But that's just the tip of the iceberg. I help people uncover the brand communications that starts to attract the clients they're meant to serve. And I really talk about being authentic, speaking from the heart, connecting with your ideal clients in a more authentic and compassionate way so that you're attracting the people that you want to work with. And that's a big piece of networking, which I absolutely love. Networking, connecting people just lights my day up when I get to put humans together. And one of my favorite things to do, and I embraced AI very early on. I've written a couple books. My first book was 30-Second Success, Ditch the Pitch and Start Connecting. And then my second book that was a solo authored book was Stand in Your Brain, Harness the Power of AI for Brand Success, Efficiency, and Client Attraction. So I talk about utilizing AI to create authentic brand communications. And it is possible. Yes, it is. So, RJ and I have had numerous conversations around branding with the help of AI, and I'm sure that we're going to have more conversation about that today. So I'm glad to be here with you.
I am so happy that you're here. I mean, it was one of those moments when we met that was like, oh, I have to have her on the show immediately. And 7 months later, here we are. But but yeah, I mean, the let's start with your books. I talk to my folks about branding all the time, and I feel like branding is certainly evolving in these days of these massive, crazy tools we've been using. But what made you, want to write that book, and especially 30 Seconds to Success? That sounds like a very short amount of time. Laura, can you tell us about that?
Well, 30-Second Success really is about helping people understand when you're networking and you have an opportunity to share your commercial or your 30-second message or your pitch, as a lot of people refer to it. It's really that message that gets people to lean in and want to know more. It's not how we sell ourselves, right? A lot of people think it's, I got to stuff all this information into here. It's more about being authentically you, tapping into the emotional drivers that your audience, the things that they are feeling, all those icky feelings that they have about why they either, they're not feeling the success as successful as they want to be, and then positioning yourself well as the solution. So we talk about that in the book, but the book's more about understanding how to be a good networker, a good human, how to connect people, how to be authentic, how to create relationships and dive deeper into understanding who your ideal client is, how you serve them, where they're showing up, who knows them, how to ask for great introductions, right? So that's the premise behind 30-Second Success. My whole entire business was founded on a need that I saw within the networking community for people to have an authentic message that really felt right to them. It resonated with them, and therefore it resonated with their audience and the people that they're meant to serve. And it's very powerful.
If how you're introducing yourself is not something that lights your heart on fire, it's not going to do any good for anybody else either.
No.
That's what I
Yeah.
know.
Yes.
And yet it's such a, gosh, it's such a hard thing for people sometimes to really winnow out and get what's that most important thing. And you've been teaching people how to do that for years.
Yep. Yep. Almost 10 years now. So,
That's that's pretty amazing. You've been doing that more than my business has been in existence,
yeah.
and it's just so important. We meet people so very often. So many people meet, never develop anything from there. And what you're teaching people how to do is a connect authentically with those folks that you would love to have. I mean, the thing is, it's not about more subscribers, more subscribers. We've seen that out in the world. It's kind of ugly. It's about getting the people that I want. That's less people, but
Right.
they're more committed.
Yep. And I think that, it's really making the connection with the people on that deep emotional level that you're attracted to, right? That you love to serve, that light you up, get you to be inspired and therefore be inspiring. And that was the premise behind, when ChatGPT came along and everybody started to really dig into AI and look at it from the perspective of how can I use this in my business. The biggest thing that I saw was the advantage of utilizing AI to enhance our brand communications. It still requires us to have a deep understanding of ourselves, what we offer, and who we are offering it to. We have to understand who our audience is in order to create content that's going to attract that audience and to speak in a manner that makes a difference to them, right? That authenticity has to still continue to come through in what we're putting out into the world. I tell people all the time, don't just cut and paste, right? Don't just cut and paste. You read what chat is giving you, edit it, like, yes, now that we understand custom instructions are there and can help us really, tailor it to our voice and our vision, we still need to go in to make sure that it sounds like us. And the words are right. It's not like there are some words that ChatGPT has a tendency to overuse. You want to make sure you pull them out, right? Because we know the algorithms don't like that. So
Mm,
yeah,
algorithms.
especially when it comes to all the little emojis that chat loves to use. Let's just go there, right? But it's fun. It is fun. I love it. You and I have had deep conversations around ChatGPT for months now. I think we've just shared our love and our passion for being able to get our time back. The advantages of getting our time back. Right? How many hours did you used to Grex over sitting there and writing an email, and then you'd walk away, come back to it, and then you'd rewrite it, and you'd walk away, come back to it, rewrite it. It took me so long to write the first book. The second book was like light years done in record time. So I think there's that, the ability to just utilize it in a way that we get our thoughts out more eagerly. And that, I think one of the things that you and I can have a deeper conversation around is helping people understand how to have a conversation with the computer.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
that has been one of the biggest challenges for my clients, writing really good prompts and communicating well with the computer. They're not used to it. And I'm like, well, talk to it like it's a person. Like how would you ask a person to clarify a sentence for you if they didn't understand what you were asking them for? So it's kind of like there you see so many aha moments when you're helping people understand how to utilize it and to want to overcome some of the challenges that are still there, right? Where it is just in a year and a half since chat's been available. Light years better now than it was, when I first started using it. And I can't even imagine where we're going to be another, 4 or 5 years from now. Like we'll just think it and it'll be done. Like that's kind of
Yeah.
scary, but be careful what you wish for.
Be careful. Be very careful, everybody. Well, and here's what I'm noticing out there, Laura, is that a lot of the products being designed are for much bigger companies. Uh, for and now everybody's got it, right? It's
Mhm.
every Salesforce has it, LinkedIn has it, and then some companies are still like, hey, use our AI instead, and there's a whole lot out there, but like for stuff for entrepreneurs, good products, good reliable products for entrepreneurs, not necessarily. You've got there's a lot of products out there that say they have AI in it, that what they really have is something that
Yeah.
scrapes the internet.
Yeah.
Those people I do not like and do not support, because that is not cool. I've tried a couple of those products and they're just a nightmare.
Mhm.
But I mean, we've got a whole lot of people, a lot of bro marketing going on. Buy my stuff, buy my stuff. It's got AI in it. Can you tell me how it's used? Can you tell me anything about it? Well, no, but this has got AI in it. Okay.
Right.
Thank you so much. What are some of the things that you've run into that are like, that have AI built in, that are really good products?
Well, I think the product, the products that we have a tendency to already have in our toolbox, like Canva, well, the AI that they're really incorporating into Canva nowadays is amazing, right? There's a uniqueness to it because obviously we've already built out our Canva portfolio. So it's just going, whoo, yeah, we get to play with your stuff. I think so. Canva is one of my favorites. ChatGPT obviously is just making headway like you would not believe. And I think that there's so many other tools out there that are just so user friendly. I'm trying to think of some of the ones that I've played. There are a few that have popped up and they have AI features in them. I haven't played with them. There's so many now that are coming with the AI features. Even I use 17 Hats has it built in. Go High Level, they're starting to play around with it, but I'm a little leery of that one. So
Yeah,
somebody else was
it's
just
still
telling me.
robotic.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the robotic side. As somebody was just telling me recently about Kajabi has it. I'm not on the Kajabi platform anymore, so I'm not really sure. So I think there's so many different pieces. Gemini supposedly, I was just having a conversation with someone today, and she was telling me that she was looking for taglines. So she put the same prompt into ChatGPT that she put into Gemini, and Gemini was actually kind of like it was actually a little bit more forward thinking, a little bit more spot on to what she was asking. And so it was a little bit more intuitive, which I found very interesting. And she told me she was still using the free version of ChatGPT. So I think there's some advantages of having the paid version now. Personally, I can't live without the paid version. I really like it. And now with Chat 4 Turbo, like, yeah, right? I think there's a lot of advantages, especially with having your own GPTs built in, right? You can make your own GPTs, which I've done for some of my clients. Like, I get the question all the time. I have the even courses on how to identify your ideal client. I'm like, well, I created my own GPT to help my clients figure
Yeah,
out who their ideal client is. So
that's where I see coaching going. For so long, Laura, we've been at that spot where we're simply passing on our knowledge. But
yes,
now we can take that knowledge and develop implementation tools so
yes,
that people can use what we're talking about. And like, it's the coaches that are building those tools. I see that taking off, and I see
yes,
strictly knowledge pushing being left up to the side.
yeah,
We've
yeah.
all we've all taken those classes, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just that that like let me get that there are certain things that I do with every single client, right? There are certain the systematic things, the automate that can be automated. Those are the things that I want to create GPTs around, and which I'm working on, so that I can have deeper conversations and do deeper work with my clients and kind of get that stuff out of the way, right? That's all the initial stuff. It's let's do the strategy work. Let's figure out how you're going to focus. Let's figure out what direction you're going in, how you're going to attract the clients you want to work with, what they need, and how then you can position yourself well and utilize the technology that's at your fingertips to do the same thing, right? To do the deep work, to have the communication skills that then really serve your clients well.
Yeah.
Right. So how can we automate some of the things that are sucking up our time? Look, I'm not getting any younger, not getting any time back, right? You know,
Right.
I'm hiding my gray hair. Well, I've never colored it, but it's there. So just I want to be able to enjoy life. And I think that's one of the things that we've gotten away from. Like a lot of entrepreneurs became entrepreneurs because they were tired of the 9 to 5 grind, right? Or they wanted to build something bigger, something unique, something for themselves to enjoy. But if we're so busy working and we can't enjoy life, what's the point? Right?
Exactly.
So I see AI as a tool to help us really streamline a lot of the processes that just get in the way of us enjoying life.
Yeah.
And when we can embrace a tool, any kind of tool, any technology that's out there, Bing and Bard and all the Google and Microsoft, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. They've got their resources. Yeah, Bing and Bard, they search the web. You got to make sure it's kind of like Wikipedia. Who's putting the information in there, right? Even to some extent, ChatGPT, who's putting the information in there? Again, you still need to have your own thoughts and your own ideas to be able to get it to translate it for you into something usable. Yeah. So make sure that you're still being authentically you. Make sure you're still bringing your personality to it. Make sure that you are still not just cut and paste, cut and paste, cut and paste and run away, right? Because then it's not going to, the biggest complaint, I have done survey after survey, and the biggest complaint that I get from people who are trying to use ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the other ones, their biggest complaint is that it doesn't sound like them. And like, it doesn't have because you haven't taught it who you are. There is a methodology. Like I teach you, I think you're the one who turned me on to custom instructions when they first came out, right? When custom instructions first came on, it was like game changer, right?
Yeah.
And being able to do the custom instructions and teaching other people how to use custom instructions. Now it sounds like them and they're like, oh, they're not. They're not having to rewrite everything ChatGPT gives them. Now they only have to like I used to joke around with people. I'm like, it used to be the 60-40 rule. 60, you can use 60% of it, 40% you have to change. Now it's the 90-10 rule.
Yeah.
It's really that accurate when you take the time to teach it who you are and what you are trying to do. Now, the other thing I found that when you start having conversations with ChatGPT, it's really interesting, whether it's ChatGPT or any other the other resources that you're using. I just happen to be that's where I play. It's almost like you can have deep conversations with it around ideas. Like, here's something I'm trying to develop. Here's something that I really want to do. What would this look like? How can I design a course around this or write a book around it? Or what if I offered this? Like, I just up-leveled my rapid results program, my coaching program. I did it years ago, brought it back and said, okay, I have a rapid results coaching program. Here's how it runs. This is what I want to do. I want to tweak it. How should, what would be something, I was asking it to add a certain element to my rapid results program to help my clients. And it was like, it was like having a mentor to sit with.
Yeah.
Right. But the mentor was available to me at 11 o'clock at night.
Yes.
When the idea came to my mind, or 5 o'clock in the morning when I got out of bed and I'm like, I got to talk to somebody about this,
Yes. And that's one of the what that's one of the best things. I've been talking to people a lot about. Uh, I always do things in experiments, and I experiment on myself first.
Hmm.
One of the bots that I'm building right now is, Ask RJ bot, basically, that has my knowledge.
Right.
It has books that I've written. It has workshops and stuff that I've done, and all of that knowledge. The and so people are like, oh, well, isn't that gonna cannibalize any kind of personal one-on-one services? Let me tell you, no, it won't, because GPT will have a lot of knowledge, and it won't necessarily know which ones to prioritize,
Right.
because no matter how many times I sit down at the keyboard, it's recognizing my login and my IP address, and it's bringing up memories. It doesn't recognize me like a
Right.
person does. And so, like, the different ways that we can use this. I've also been experimenting, and this is on very small scale, but with, okay, do a webinar or something like that. Instead of sending them the replay, send them the bot that they can ask. Uh, hey, give
Yeah.
me a summary of this. Hey, what did she say about this? Did she talk about this at all during the webinar?
Yeah.
Because that's short and sweet. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the my imagination is endless, and so are the ways that you can use this stuff to really it's changed the way I serve. And I think
Mm.
that's the most important thing about it.
Yeah. I think there's also a level of confidence that comes with, like, when I'm working in chat and I'm asking it ideas and I'm looking at reference and I'm saying, okay, let's play with this, or let's create this. I'm like, and I look at what it gives me back and I'm like, wow, that's exactly it, right? That's exactly what I was thinking. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome stuff. It's almost like there's confirmation that what you're thinking is really viable.
Yes.
Right. And I think there's some, it's almost like this confirmation that what you're thinking, and it's a little scary, because I'm like, okay, is it pulling from information that other people have, that maybe other people have already done this, it's already in the system, it's already programmed there, but it almost seems like too personal to me when I get it. And I think that comes from the fact that I'm very specific in my requests, in my conversations, in those prompts. I'm very, very specific in what I'm asking it for. And then I ask it for more clarification, and, well, what if we tried this, or what if we tried that? And how would it look if we did this? And does it really need to be a 6-month program? Can it just be a 6-week program? That kind of stuff. And it's like really bouncing it around, and realizing that when you get to that final product, like you've taken the time. It's almost like sitting with that notepaper and pad and just kind of fleshing things out, and you're able to do that and then come up with a final framework that
Hmm.
really lands where you want it to. That's one of the things I've been talking with some of my clients right now. Is I don't know whether there's something in the air. It's maybe it's something in the stars and the planets and the planetary alignment. I don't know. Where we're all feeling like right now simplification is happening. Like, we all feel like there's so much overload content wise. Simplification is happening. Like, I just want to offer this and this. That's it. I'm done. I don't want to be offering all this other stuff. It just doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve my clients. I just want to offer this and this. So it's really interesting to be having those kind of conversations with multiple people recently, especially in the coaching world. They are becoming very, very specific. Like, this is the good stuff. Like, they're really using AI to help them identify the really good stuff. What do my clients need? What do they need from me? And when you can get that specific about who your ideal client is, how you serve them, and then find out from chat, what kind of questions are these people asking the internet? What are they asking Google? What are they asking looking? What are they researching on YouTube? What are they researching on TikTok? What do they need to hear from me that they're not hearing elsewhere? And when you can nail that down, it is like gold, right? And I think you can utilize chat or any other AI platform to help you to really refine it, especially a platform that understands you. Be careful, because there's some platforms that are not like you have don't know really understand who you are. So as long as it really has a deep understanding of who you are, like specifically like ChatGPT, because of the custom instructions of Gemini. I think there's another platform that a friend of mine likes to use, and I can't remember the name of it. You'll have to forgive me. My brain isn't as good as it used to be with remembering stuff. It's just,
It's the way it is.
it's over full. It's just over full. I'm
There's
telling you
just
at
a
this
lot.
point.
There's a lot in there, is what I'm
Yes.
going with. Yes.
Yeah. A lot of information. It just kind of pushes all the other stuff out. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see the direction that we're going in. I know there's a lot of fear around using AI. I get a lot, especially a lot of coaches in the health and wellness industry,
Yeah.
are very fearful of the ethical ramifications
Yeah.
of utilizing AI. And I get it. But if you're using it ethically and you're using it on the up and up, and you are being very specific in your questions and what you're asking it, and you're, not being nefarious in your conversations with chat, how can it be unethical in its responses? There's that, right? And then, yes, there were very early on, I had a very dear friend who is a marketing consultant, and they had done some website content for a client, and unbeknownst to them, it was a verbiage that was taken from someone else's website, and their client got sued, and then they got sued. So yeah, it was a big eye opener, but that was before there were any kind of guidelines to go by, and they didn't take the time to fact check. And you have to research stuff if you're putting things out there, especially when it comes to content on your website.
Yeah.
And you've got competition, pretty steady competition out there. Make sure you're not stealing quotes from someone else.
Even unknowingly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of plagiarism checkers out there, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, do your P's and Q's, especially on
Yeah.
websites, my friends. Boy, especially on websites.
Well, that's how all the college students got caught, right?
Right. Right.
Plagiarism checkers were at work.
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and so what motivated you, of course, to write the book about AI and entrepreneurs?
Well, I think that the reason why I wanted to write it's more of a book with tools, right? There's a lot of different references in there, different ways of utilizing ChatGPT. A lot of references. I put a lot of thought starters in there to help people kind of like give them some inspiration on how to communicate well with AI. And the reason why I wrote it was, number one, I wanted to kind of get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Right. So, let people know I'm teaching people how to do this, right? Get ahead of the curve when there's, a lot of people, it's just kind of becoming popular. And I was already embracing it and teaching people how to use it. So that was part of it. And then giving people a resource. So it's really a great resource. There's a lot of references in there, different platforms to use, different things that are useful in your creation of communications and different content creation, and that you can use when you're interacting with AI. So that's why I wrote it. I really wanted it to be more of a reference guide for people to be able to kind of give them ideas, thought starters. And that's one of the biggest things that people have said, that the best part of it is their list of thought starters. And I wrote it with the help of AI. I actually wrote it was fun. I actually wrote it with the help of AI. I gave AI tons of credit. AI even wrote a blurb about the book.
Yeah. Nice.
Of course it did. Of course it did, because it wrote the book practically. No. So I used a lot of it for the research of the book, and creating a lot of the lists and putting content together for it. So it was, so it was kind of like a fun partnership. In creating it. So it was, and I wanted people to see this is something fun you can do. You can utilize ChatGPT to be creative and have your own spin, and yet feel like it's something that you've accomplished and you've put out there into the world. So, that's the beauty of it.
It is beautiful. I too, now I have never written a book. but I decided that I was going to make it happen. And so I did. I also wrote a book with GPT about brand building and world building. Um, it helped me develop the framework that I wanted
Mhm.
to use. It helped me. You were talking about using it for ideation. You can use
Mhm.
it to help develop those ideas because all you
Yes.
have to say is, okay, here's my idea. Ask me questions that will help me hone this into something where I can really get a message across. And
Right.
it suggested a whole lot of things that I never would have thought about. And so,
Yes.
I mean, it just helped me deep dive and get to where I was going. So many times on the internet, if you're just using Google or whatever, it's like you'll end up down a rabbit hole, basically.
Mhm. Yep.
This was like taking a dive and really ended up where, like, at that treasure chest of gold that I wanted to share with the world. Like,
Yep.
this matters. This is significant. So I just
Yeah.
I
No, I'm excited. I can't wait to read it.
I
Yeah.
hope you like it.
Yeah.
I really it was a
Yeah.
all my stuff is an affair of the heart, right?
Mhm.
Everything I write, everything I write, emails, blog posts, books, whatever it is, right? It's always a love letter to my community, and because I want them to discover the things that I've discovered, and GPT and AI have gotten me so much closer to that than I've ever been in the past. Like, it's an
Yep.
incredible tool.
Yeah,
Um,
and I can't disagree with that because I think that's the biggest thing. It's so powerful, even in the writing community. I'm actually doing a talk tomorrow for authors about all the ways you can utilize ChatGPT to market your book.
yeah,
Right? It's not just taking you through the ideation. Because part of the problem is, and I love Brendan Bouchard. I'm listening to one of his marketing podcasts is amazing right now, and one of them is about launching your book. But he talks about the continuous selling of your book after it's been launched. Most
hmm
people talk about their book when they launch it, but they forget to market it afterwards.
yeah,
Right. So he's
yeah.
been successfully marketing his book and it's now 10 years old and it's still selling just as many copies now as it was the day he launched it.
Yes.
And that's because of the marketing. So teaching people how to utilize ChatGPT to create marketing materials, to market their book, to create all the, even the content around the book, the sales page, the sales funnels, it's just helping them understand that there's a continuation that has to happen around that book. And yet that's one of the things that I struggle with most is marketing my book.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I have 2 books. Why am I not marketing them? I'm like, okay, I'm getting back on the bandwagon of marketing my books. And that's the biggest thing. Like right now, I was just, as a matter of fact, I was just playing with my free book offer. That's one of the easiest things you can do for marketing your book is, have a free book campaign where people just pay the shipping to have the book sent. And it's amazing how how incredible that is to connect you with new people and bring new people into your world. And it's delightful to be able to have a resource like ChatGPT to create all of that, right?
Yeah.
And I teach people how to just just all the things that you need. So I'm excited about that. I'm doing that talk tomorrow. I just finished the slide deck for that one. A friend of mine asked me to speak to her author community, so
Nice.
it'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Well, let me ask you about your AI book.
Mhm.
Did you include, like, I know people are including QR codes a lot now inside those books. Did you go through that type of experience, or yeah, you did?
I did. My business coach actually wanted me to do that. I have 4 different QR codes in there, and not one of them has been used.
Okay. All right.
So,
All
so there's
right.
so there's a little bit of info for you. So
Okay.
not one person has used a QR code in there.
Wow. All
So yeah,
right.
it is interesting. Yeah, some of the but the smart thing I did was the QR codes weren't used, but I also put the URLs
Yeah.
beneath the QR codes, and people will use the URLs, not the QR code.
Uh-huh.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. People just, and it depends on you have to remember who's your demographic,
Yeah,
right? Who's your demographic? My demographic is not quick to pick up their phone and snap a picture of a QR code, but they will type in a URL.
yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, Beautiful. Well, I cannot believe we've run out of time, Laura Templeton. And so how do people get a hold of you?
Easiest way to get a hold of me is on all social media at 30 Second Success. So I'm branded 30 Second Success 30, and then the word second success.com. That's me everywhere. So it's the easiest way to get a hold of me.
30-second success. Everybody, this is somebody that that I aspire to someday grow up and be. Uh, get a hold of Laura, particularly if you don't have that thing that you can put forth within 30 seconds that really hooks your ideal people. You need that. You need that. People's attention is everywhere these days, and you do need to stand out in that period of time that you're given. Get a hold of Laura. Also, she teaches GPT. I do not. I'll pass on some stuff on, but I don't have classes in GPT. I just have experiences that I've created with it. So, holy moly, everybody listening to me, Laura is absolutely worth checking out every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So do the thing. Laura, do you have any final like pearls of wisdom to share with us?
Yeah, I think that when it comes to your 30-second message, just remember that it is an invitation for people to want to get to know you better, want to get to know you more. But before they can do that, you need to have a deep understanding of who your ideal client is so that your message can connect with them on a deep emotional level. That's the most important thing to remember.
Yeah.
Right. So
All right. I'm gonna need a nap directly after this. But that's all for me this week, everybody. Next week we'll be on same bot time, same bot channel. We'll have another guest that we're talking about a quest for epic engagement with. For now, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And if you want to co-work, the come right in is always open. Come by. I'll ask you what you're drinking, and then we'll go ahead and co-work together. It's been a really nice place to develop some really great relationships, and so come meet the gang, come meet the tribe, and that's it for now, my friends. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a bot.